Kol hashana halachot b'chol yom uvtach lo shehu ben olam haba. B'ezrat Hashem, the studying of the two mitzvot is a guaranteed. Daily is a guaranteed to get to the chelek asher in olam haba. That today we're going to be discussing mitzvah number 427 of prohibition marrying goyim. And it's very important to know that many people make a mistake. The father is a Jew. They want to say the child is a Jew. It's not true. It has to, again, the prohibition is marrying anyone who is not a Jew. A ger is not involved. Obviously, he's already in the gather hagdara of a Jew. We're not talking about that. We're talking about specifically where there was no, and we'll discuss more right now into the detail. 427, 428 we'll be discussing. Are we allowed to use anything that was not brought to the Avodah Zarah, but it was an ornament. It was a decoration for Avodah Zarah. So Mitzvah 428 gives us isur of using anything that was a decoration for the Avodah Zarah. Mitzvah that sponsored today, B'ezrat Hashem l'refuah, שתמה לכל חולי עמו ישראל, עכשיו בכללם לחיה בת לאה, ליאור בן אהוה, יוסף בן מרים, ליבי בת רחלי, משה בן מרים לידיה, יעקב בן רחל, Aharon ben Rachel. All right, let's go. Mitzvah number 427. It says in the Torah clearly, "Shelo nitchaten im ha'umot." We're prohibited to marry anyone outside of the Jewish nation. The Katav Rambam Zal. It says over there in Perek Yud Bet Beisurei Biyah in Hilchot of illicit relations. The Rambam writes Halacha Aleph, Lo im shiva amamim velo im sha'ar ha'umot. We're prohibited marrying any of the 7 nations that occupied Eretz Israel at the time of conquest of the land. Not just those 7 nations, it's talking about all other nations. Shneimar, as it says in chapter 7, Pasuk Gimel, Velo titchaten bam, you shall not marry with them. V'inyan hatanut hu, shiten bito libno, or bno libito. As shalom, the aspect of marriage is giving your child daughter to their son, or taking their daughters for your sons. As the pasuk later explains, you may not, as the Torah says clearly, you're not allowed to give your daughter to them, and you shall not take their daughters for you. So obviously, if you are prohibited giving your children over to them or taking their children for your children, you yourself included in the issue prohibition. And over there in the Gemara Avodah Zarah, page 36, second side, it says the following: Derech hatanut asra Torah. The Torah prohibited anything that has to do with the aspect of marriage. Even though this pasuk specifically, you will argue, wait a minute, the pasuk is talking about specifically the 7 nations that occupied the land of Israel at the time. It's talking about only them. And over there, it's clear to us in the Masechta Yevamot. It says on page 76, Amud Aleph, Bigratan it lehu hatanot begiyotan leit lehu hatanut. Okay, begirutan and begiyotan. Okay, what is the 2 words the Gemara describes over there? Let's see. Dafka, okay, bet. What do you want to say? Maza girutan. Maza girutan. Begirutan it lehu lechatanud. Begiyutan leit lehu chatnud.
Begiyutam?
Yeah, begiyutan. Begiyutan?
Begiyam.
Okay, maybe we'll explain. במה שחזר הכתוב בתך לא תיתן לבנו וביתו, no, so now he explains that the fact that the Torah repeats itself, explaining to you. Right, Torah told you, first of all, don't get married to them. And then there describes what did the Torah mean? You should not give your daughter to them and not make their daughters for you. What does that mean? It's talking about even all the other nations is included in that fact.
Even when they're not Jewish, or Giutan is when they're still Goyim, whereas opposed to Gerutan when they're converted already.
1 second, it's talking about. You're talking about before Matan Torah or after Matan Torah? Okay. You're saying that the Bnei Yaakov were not allowed to marry them, and then is that what you're trying to say?
There's no chatnut really to a goy. There's such thing as marriage.
Right.
It's only derech chatnut. You act with the girl
Uh-huh.
like you're married.
Meaning the relations of marriage. What?
Relations is not only when it's relations, not derech hefkerut. If you go like a person goes like chas v'shalom b'derech snut,
No, yeah.
so then there's no really issur. It's only derech chatnut. Only in the way of marriage, of taking her.
That's what the way you saying it, or that's the way the Gemara basket now? Because sounds like over here, aval shiva mamin nisru av v'girutan. Aha, no. He's telling you by the shiva zamamim, the 7 nations, even if they become gerim, you're not allowed to marry them. Okay, 7 nations are not allowed to marry. So what do? They marry amongst themselves. The gerim are allowed to marry each other. Okay. But they should not marry Bnot Israel. They cannot marry because the Torah tells you, outline. That's what the nafkamina is. Nafkamina is even, for sure when they're goyim and even after the gerut. Meaning the Torah outlined your child, your daughter, you cannot give to them. So who is them? Them, the ones who are not the ones who are from the 7 nations. Because again, as we said already previously, this was like a pinnacle, right? Why they chose Eretz Israel Davka? Because they were mushchatim in evil, and they wanted to make sure that they have protection. That's the only reason. That's the only reason they chose to live in Israel. They didn't choose to live in Eretz HaKodesh because they admired the kedusha and the holiness of this beautiful land. They lived there for one purpose. The purpose was Hashem did not destroy it in the time of Mabul. So it was protection for them. But they did not throw away the bad attitudes. They did not throw away bad attitudes. The whole purpose they're living there is for protection. However, these 7 nations is a totally sur even after they become gerim to marry Klal Israel, but meaning the children of Israel. Again, isur means over here that we don't, not that we don't accept that they're gerim, we're not allowed to marry their gerim, those specific nations. But all the other nations, you are allowed to marry the gerim. That's the concept. V'isur ze iyeh davka kashehu miyechda lo liisha. Here, the Rabbi explained. Rabbi Varnon just pointed out where the provision over here is where he specifically declared or proclaimed this woman to be his wife. Aval haba hagoya derech mikre ke'adam haba al zonato. Somebody went Chas v'shalom to 42nd Street, and he went with the goya. Chas v'shalom. Shelo befarese. It was not known that he did it. Yeah. En bazeh ele isur divreihem. Here, like Rabbi Abraham said, the isur deoraita is to make her declare her as your wife. But the Rabbanan already came in and said, listen, you cannot behave with her. You could learn it both ways. But if the Torah tells you cannot marry her, so I would assume that anything that a man does with his wife is asur. That would be included in the isur. So that makes it the Rabbanan. The Rabbanan are analyzing the isur, and therefore it's asur. V'hu isur nun nishgaz amuskar ba'avodah zarah. I don't know what nishgaz means. Rabbi Abraham, what is nishgaz? Nida. Zona. Tודה רבה. Okay. Yeah, beautiful. I didn't know that. So that was I knew all those 4, but I didn't know that was the abbreviation. Beautiful. Nishgaz amuskar ba'avodah zarah. Beautiful. So the goal. By the way, when a man goes with a Jewish girl, a prostitute, let's say a man today, unfortunately, it's a very common thing. The boys play around with girls, so they perform znut. How many lashes do they get? 39 lashes for doing the act with a Jewish girl, without kiddushin. Good. When a Jew goes to 42nd Street, privately, and he's found out to be with a goya one time, he gets 4 times 39 lashes. Over there, because he transgressed in one act, he transgressed all this. What? Nun is nida, right? Shin, what do we said? Shivcha, right? She is not. What's his name? She is of the goyim, goya, and zona. So even one act, one intercourse with a woman lands this guy 156 lashes. Okay, that's the goya with a Jewish girl. But besides, by the goya, by the way, he does not have karet. By the Jewish girl, he does have karet. Especially if she's a nida, and obviously if she's a zonah, she doesn't go to mikvah. No mikvah will allow her to go there. So lechoira, besides the lashes, he gets the karet, which is again very chamur meod. It's not something to play with. Hamuskar b'avodah zarah. Okay. Mishashai mitzvah. What's the purpose of this mitzvah? Everybody knows. Why? Every person follows his wife's advice. If he marries a girl who is doing avodah zarah, תימשכהו לעבודת עבודה זרה, ועוד כי גם בניה ממנו תגדל לעבודה זרה, ואוי לו לפוסל את זרו. Because a non-Jewish girl, in the end, she will lead him astray, and lead astray for sure his children. זה בדיני מצווה בדיוק says, ועובר על זה ונתחתן עם 7 עממים בגירותן. So now, prohibition. If a Jew went ahead and married one of the 7 of the nations that for sure we know, even though they did girut, כלומר שיחד לו אישה מהן ובא עליה לוקה. So anyone that takes this goya and makes her to be like his wife, חס ושלום, he will get lashed. המייחד אישה מהן לבנו, או שנתן ביתו לאחד מהן, האב עבר עליו. But if somebody gives over the daughter to this people, the father will be transgressing a sin. אבל אינו לוקה, why he doesn't get lashed? לפי שאין בו מעשה, because he didn't enact. The child didn't act, but he's not. אבל הבן שעשה מעשה הביא הבייה לוקה. If the boy goes ahead and sleeps and does with the goya, he will get lashed. ובשאר עממים, however, if a Jew goes ahead and marries the other nations, וכן בשבעת עממים בגיותן, or the 7 nations where they became, המייחד לו אישה מהן לבוא עליה תמיד לוקה מדאורייתא בבייה ראשונה מאחר שיחדה. So if in the first biyah they will get lashed, well, right? If he sanctified her as his wife, and she gets killed. Whoa. Don't let her go into that. Hear you? Wow, the Jews are promoting this kind of thing. Listen, she lured him in. But if he didn't declare her to be his wife, but if he met her in the street at one time, so if it's all the other nations, a boy sleeps with the when is the problem? They give him lashes. How many lashes? Until he says, I will never do it again. So the guy says, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, he could last 1,000 lashes. Good, give him 2,000 lashes. Give him as long as he needs, until he says, I will never do it again. Mitzvah number 428. So there's a prohibition of having enjoyment, anything, or meaning ana'ah. So it's very, very common today. People don't know that. Today, it's actually is avodah zarah or not, or tzipui avodah zarah. In India, somebody pointed out to me, they sell today in America sticks that have odor. You light it up on top, and it burns little by little, and it gives out a beautiful aroma in the house. So all those sticks are actually made from what? From Noi Avodah Zarah. What happens is in India, they have a big thing as festivals. On their festivals, they throw a lot of flowers, roses, a lot of different fragrances around their Avodah Zarah. And there's a guy who figured out, instead of have all those flowers go to waste, which they do, and they just, throw out a lot of garbage, he gathers all those flowers, and he has workers literally separating flower by flower, min b'mino, each one of the flavor, and then he dries them, and he grinds them, and he mixes them into this powder, into the sticks, and they sell them sticks with fragrance. And Jews, unfortunately, today also have this problem. I see some pictures of Jews, wealthy people. They have like a glass jar in their house, and they have the sticks in those jars. Rahman al-Islam, if it came from India, you have to know it's from this Noi Kishut of Avodah Zarah. And you know, you have to be careful not to enjoy from anything that was beautifying the Avodah Zarah. Right? Meaning, there was a question, are you allowed to, many people sell today crosses, right? They sell golden crosses. Are you allowed to or not? So many argue it's not really Avodah Zarah, but let's say if it is Avodah Zarah. So So sounds like Isur Deoraita there is no. The Torah does not specifically say you cannot sell the Avodah Zarah. כגון המשתחווה לדבר שאין בו תפיסת יד אדם, כגון הר או בהמה, או אילה שאינם נאסרים בהנאה. אבל הציפוי שעליהם מכל מקום אסורים בהנאה, שהוא בכלל משמשי עבודה זרה שאסורים. So what happened was that there was a little hill. Some people said, you believe it or not, many Indians, they would worship land, they would worship rocks, they would worship mountains. So now, you people go bowing down to the mountain. The mountain is not Asur. You're allowed to build a house on that mountain. But what the problem is, if they threw anything around the mountain to make it more beautiful while they're doing the service of Avodah Zarah, that would classify it as the beautification of Moshe. It's untied. Be careful. Careful. אבל אוקיי, שהוא בכלל משמשי עבודה זרה, שאסורים, ועל זה נאמר, אני רוצה לדעת, chapter 7, פסוק 25, לא תחמוד כסף וזהב עליהם, ולקחת לך. So the Torah, where do you learn that from? The Torah tells you, you should not be jealous, meaning don't have any a sign, or don't show any sign of some kind of reverence to the Avodah Zarah. And how do you show reverence to the Avodah Zarah? By taking its decorations. By using its decorations, you showing reference. שנאמר במקום אחר, דרך כלל ולא ידבק בך, נתייחד לה בציפוי לפי שיתנו עיניהם בו הפתאים. Right? A lot of people will say, oh, look at this. This is not real Avodah Zarah. Maybe I should use it. So the simple people will make a mistake and will have ana'ah from it. So the Torah tells us to stay away even though it's not Avodah Zarah. Well, flour is not Avodah Zarah, but it was used to make it nice, to make the feeling. Remember that the Navi complains that the biggest claim against the Jews is that when they go to the shul, the Jews, when they daven or when they learn Torah, they don't have zest, they don't have a gishmak, they don't have the same feeling as people when they do sacrifices for idol worship. They have memories, and they if you take a look the way that the Goyim talk, the Goyim actually recognize and they remember. They place their memories on the days according to their holidays, according to their Avodah Zarah, and the Navi complains that Hashem has this problem with the Jews, that when you're in Beit HaMikdash, you're in Beit Midrash, you're in learning, you don't have such a fire like they do when they're doing nothing. They're doing Hevel Havalim, they're doing Mamash Stam, just words, just a beautiful melody, so what? But you're oisik in Briyat Olam, you're creating this world, you're sustaining this world, and you don't have the same fire? So Navi over there tells us that we are judged for that. So if they use this for the decorations, to justify, not just justify, to have the more zest in their, more zealousy when they're doing the service for garbage. So for sure you're supposed to distance yourself from such a pleasure, from such items that were used for that. Again, the point of the mitzvah is to stay away, to distance ourselves away from anything that was used for Avodah Zarah. Okay, and they already explained all the rules in reference to, as we mentioned. This mitzvah of refraining, even today, like I said to you, in India there are 1,600 religions. Okay, so you have to be very wary. Today everybody is recycling mode. You have to be very wary that since it's a recycling mode, most of the stuff is recycled. And there was a big tumult, if you remember, with the wigs, with the Avodah Zarah hair of the wigs that women were using. Ashrei Adam, happy is the person whose wife does not put on a wig. And again, who knows what's going on there? But you see that anything today. Again, if we're talking about even a little stick, the fragrance sticks already coming from fragrances of Avodah Zarah, you have to be very, very vigilant. People don't understand. Rabbi, what's my problem? I don't know. I don't care. It's not publicized. You don't understand. When we live a life in closed eyes, and I don't know, I don't care, it does not mean you're not influenced by it. It could be influenced. You don't even know. You don't even know what's influencing me. What is causing me to act in a certain way? What is causing me to talk in a certain way? What is causing me to behave in a certain way? It's the fact that you don't know that you may be lighting in your house a fragrance from Avodah Zarah, and you're enjoying it, and now your head is off derech shalom. Okay, ועל זה נאמר, ועובר על זה ונהנה בציפוי אפילו בכל שהוא חייב מלכות. Now, a person went ahead and enjoyed from these things, he will get lashed because he took physical pleasure. Have a wonderful day, B'ezrat Hashem.